okay, don't worry, don't worry. You okay? You need a water, sir?
थोड़ा बताइए हुआ पति को मार दिया.
There were targeted killings. Hindus were singled out. They were shot.
Only one religion, every time, only one religion come out when we see any terrorist. Every time, everybody remembers him as a beautiful person. Shouldn't die like that.
Have you been able to process what took place on 22nd of April?
I still think that he'll come from somewhere, will talk to me, will sit next to me, will hold my hand.
How did it happen?
He said, read Kalma. We both couldn't understand what he's trying to say. Both of us said to him that Hindu. The moment we finished the sentence, we are Hindu, he just shot him dead. Shubham was sitting right here, I was sitting here. The moment he shot him, he was all on me.
How was the security situation different in Pahalgam compared to other areas in Jammu and Kashmir?
We forgot to see that there was no security in Pahalgam. When I went towards any pony riders, when I went towards the JK police, when I was pleading, I was all over blood. I was filled with blood. I was begging them. Me and my sister, we both were on our knees telling them, please help us. My husband is there. People are trapped there. The reply we got, we can't help you.
How would you want the nation to remember Shubham now?
That I want him to be given as a shaheed. It's just because I want to live with this. At least I'll have something to live with all.
22nd April, in Pahalgam, India witnessed a brutal face of terror. 26 people killed in the name of religion. 26 families affected, but the scale of grief is much larger as the entire nation is grieving with those 26 families. But viewers, while you and I share this pain, this anger, this sadness, we were not there. It is only a few people who were there on the ground who had to go through this horrifying experience. And for India Today Global, it is very important that their story comes out. So joining me now is Aishanya Dwivedi. She is the wife of one of the victims of Pahalgam attack, Shubham Dwivedi. Aishanya ji, thank you so much for joining us here. I know it must take a lot of strength on your part to tell your story after all that has happened. So I want to thank you again for being so brave, for being willing to share your story with us. I want to ask you, it's been around 12 days now. Have you been able to process what took place on 22nd of April? Has the family been able to process?
I don't think we'll ever be able to process this. We as family and me as Shubham's wife, I still think that he'll come from somewhere, will talk to me, will sit next to me, will hold my hand. And even the whole family members think the same. That from somewhere he'll come back and he'll talk to us. He'll play with us like the way he used to treat everyone. He was a happy soul. He used to just make everybody smile. We are not able to accept this. It's just happened.
I'm sure the gravity of this is something that I don't think anyone could comprehend what you're feeling or what the family has been going through. I want to ask you, could you please share how did the terror attack unfold? We've been told you're the first one to get approached. How did it happen,
I've told this so many times, it's so clear in my head and it keep on playing in a loop that I cannot get out of that. I know it. Yes. Me and Shubham, we were talking to each other. Okay. And we were in a conversation he was showing me the watch, he was saying it's 2:25, we'll get down 2:45, we'll have a lunch with the family. It was just, we both were sitting and talking, enjoying our Maggie and coffee. I was teasing my sister and saying, I'm having your coffee, see you're not getting coffee. Everybody was doing that. Some people were doing trampoline, some people were doing bungee jumping. All that was going on in there.
Yes.
Somebody just approached us from back out of nowhere. If the person would have been somewhere, showing the terror from earlier, like moving around with the gun. So people must have got scared. No, but we were the first one
Yes.
to approach. So he just approached us and he was like, Hindu hai ya Musliman? And then we said, because we had no idea what he's saying. We said,
Yeah.
what happened? He again said, are you Hindu or Muslim? If you are Muslim, please read Kalma. What he not say please, but he said read Kalma. We both couldn't understand what he's trying to say. Both of us said to him that Hindu. The moment we finished the sentence, we are Hindu, we just shot him dead. It was, I still cannot take that image out of my head the way he did, because Shubham was sitting right here, I was sitting here.
Hmm.
The moment he shot him, he was all on me. His face, it was a very brutal shot, and they were very sure that now it's the first shot, we have to do as worse as we can. So they did it that way. Yes, he didn't have his face. Nobody in the family could see his face. And I still cannot get that image out of my head.
And I'm sure it is something that, will also remain in people's memory as we think of this brutal attack. I want to ask you, as you mentioned that you were the first one to get approached, and immediately after, panic and chaos spread, what was the response from the local Kashmiris, from the pony riders around you, and how did the people react immediately, after the first shooting took place?
I, as the first victim, I know that the people around me, be it Kashmiri, be it local, be it JNK police, nobody acted in our favor. There are a lot of people who are saying that the locals have helped
Yes.
the people have. I do not say that they're wrong. But what my story is, when I went towards any pony riders, when I went towards the JK police, when I was pleading, I was I was all over blood. I was filled with blood, was begging them. I was literally, we were all, me and my sister, we both were on our knees telling them, "Ki, please help us. My husband is there. People are trapped there." The reply we got, we can't help you. We cannot help you. They were just saying that. And the pony riders, they said, Ki, we are not your pony riders, we'll not help. That was their reply. There was no humanity. Maybe later on, the people who helped, they must be the people who were downwards.
Okay.
They might be having some humanity, so they got up and helped. But the people who were there at that very moment, the locals who were present at that very moment, at that very place, they did not help.
Okay, so how were you and your sister? You said that you went downwards. How were you able to escape the spot? Could you tell us about that?
I can tell you about that. After they shot Shubham, I had no senses in me. I was just
Yes.
holding him. I was not going away. And till that moment, we had no idea that they leave the women. Because it was the first shot, we thought they'll kill everyone.
Yes.
Although we could see that they were only targeting the men's, but who knew that they will not kill the women? Who knew? So when I had no senses in me, and my mother also lost her senses, we both were just looking at Shubham. I don't know how my sister gathered herself. She actually escaped us. She pulled
Okay.
me, and she actually dragged me down to the hill. I have a lot of injuries, bruises on my body because she dragged me down to the hill. I couldn't walk.
All right. Now, the terrorists who carried out this brutal attack have not been found yet, and it has led to a lot of people raising questions about local involvement. So, I want to ask you, while you were there in Pahalgam, did you notice anything unusual? I mean, I'm sure you were on a family visit, so this is not something that you look for immediately. But, in hindsight, could you recall something that may have told you about how locals were involved or not?
Ma'am, what I feel, the very moment when this was happening, we could not get through ki, yeah, this is the sign. We should see ki people are saying this, we should not trust them. But
Yeah.
now when I go back and recall everything, there were few pony riders with us who were continuously telling us that please you go with couples, go with couples. They
Okay.
asked me also, who is your couple? Please you go together, you guys go together. Even the family members who got down from the hill, they actually trying to talk through them till 10 minutes. Ki, please come with us. It's so beautiful out there. Come with us. Come with my sister-in-law. Actually got scared of the pony, so she was the one who said, ki, no, I'll go back. And with her, the other five members of the family, they went down. But the pony riders were actually forcing them, because
Okay.
me and my five people who actually went upwards, they were ready to go. For them, for us, they were easy. They are to going. For the other six members also, they were pressurizing them continuously. Go, please, please come, please come. They were continuously saying no, but they kept saying, and they also kept saying, go as couples, go as couples. This is clearly the sign, because they
Yeah.
were targeting the couples.
And I'm sure this is something the investigative agencies will also be looking into. Now, I want to ask you that I'm sure when you went to Kashmir, you did not have this worldview of, Hindus versus Muslims. But then this attack happened. There were targeted killings. Hindus were singled out. They were shot. So, how do you look at it now, with so many narratives going around? What would be your message to those terrorists who killed people based on their religion?
First of all, terrorism doesn't have any religion. That is true. But I also say that only one religion, every time only one religion come out when we see any terrorists. Every time. So no matter how people keep saying no, it's not Hindu Muslim, it's not Muslims, it's not Muslims. I'm not saying every Muslim is wrong, but the locals, the Kashmiris, they are not right. They are the one who are supporting them. They are the one who are feeding them. They're the one who are giving them shelters. So people may talk about this, the terrorism doesn't have any religion. Although I also have said it many times that they do not have a religion. They are brutal animals. They are, Hindi way we say Rakshas. They are that only. But they're from one religion. We cannot deny the fact. Nobody can deny that fact. I'm not saying the Muslim living next to my door is wrong, but I'm saying the Muslim living in Kashmir is wrong. How come the people from the border from Pahalgam is 400 kilometers,
Yes.
Pakistan border?
Yes.
Nobody can come directly from there and start killing. They're there. They are living there. They're eating our own bread. They're actually being fed by us only. We give them money. They kill us with our own money, because we only go there. We only give them money.
I can completely understand, where those concerns are coming from. Now, because you mentioned that you went to J&K police when you got down the slope, I want to ask you, there was no security deployment at the site, and even the help that did reach took a lot of time, right? So could you tell us about how much time did it take for the help to reach the spot, and also how was the security situation different in Pahalgam compared to other areas in Jammu and Kashmir?
Told this earlier and I'm telling this again. The security in Kashmir is very good.
Okay.
Every 30 meters, I could see a CRPF officer. Every 30 meters.
Acha.
So it was very tight everywhere. So that is the reason we were so chill. We were like, our army is here. What will happen to us? But we forgot to see that there was no security in Pahalgam. Even we keep a security guard in our houses who have a stick with them. But there was no one as that. There was no one who even have a stick on their hand. He will at least come to help us, come to rescue them. No help, no security, nothing. Even the J&K police said, we cannot help you. I'm telling them, me soaked in blood, telling them that the people trapped, this happened 2:25. The first shot was 2:25. I clearly remember, because my and Shubham last conversation was about time. Because we were discussing it's 2:25, we'll go 2:45 downwards and we'll have lunch. So I clearly remember it's 2:25. And the moment I got down, it was 3:15 around. So it's already 45 minutes.
Yes.
And I could still hear the gunshots from upwards. They must have also heard the gunshots, They did not try to help. They act. They did not even acted. We will feel that yeah, at least they're acting. Nothing. They were like we cannot help you.
So it was just
That was the
point
catch.
blank refusal.
Yeah, we cannot help you.
Well, that is, I'm sure, very scary and could have been really, you must have felt very helpless in that situation.
My family was helpless. We were actually on our knees begging them. And what they were telling us, leave the valley, otherwise they'll come down. It will start happening here also. Leave the valley. The locals who are telling us, leave the valley, otherwise they might come down. They might come down. They were doing that to us.
That is very, very scary. You know, I want to go back to Shubham because these are just not 26, numbers. These are not just 26 statistics that we're talking about. These are 26 lives. There are people with families, with dreams. And you talked about the visual, of you holding Shubham. That is something that will also remain stuck in people's mind. So I want to talk to you about this. You got married about 2 months ago. You must have dreamt of your future. I want to ask you, how would you want the nation to remember Shubham now?
The reason why I'm telling everywhere that I want him to be given as a shaheed is just because I want to live with this. At least I'll have something to live with on.
Yeah.
Me and Shubham had a lot of dreams. We just started. We just started our married life. We had a lot of things. We had talked about a lot of things. So when he is not here, at least I have something to live on with. And him as a beautiful person, everybody remembers him as a beautiful person, shouldn't die like that. The only thing I'm asking the government and everybody, we give him Shaheed, give he should be Amar. Is because this shouldn't happen to us. This shouldn't happen to anyone. All the 26 lives shouldn't have gone like that. They were filled with dreams. They were filled with so many ambitions in life. But they're just gone.
That is true. I mean, dreams and hopes all shattered because of some brutal, horrific people who carried out this attack. My last question to you is now, Indian government has said that no one will be spared. They've launched a diplomatic offensive against Pakistan. A lot of, a series of steps being taken on that front. How do you look at the response so far? What are your expectations from the government in terms of justice? You've already mentioned when it comes to Shubham what you would want, but in terms of other things, what are your expectations?
My expectation is only that terrorism should end. It should end from every corner of the world. It should just end. Because if it won't end, the life will keep going. People will keep suffering and the life of innocent will keep going because the terrorist doesn't have that much हिंदी में औकात नहीं है उनकी
True.
they will go to the government, that they will go to the army and they can kill them. They don't have that much courage. They cannot do it only. But they will kill the innocent. What do they have? They have nothing. So that's why they are just targeting the innocents. That is why I'm just begging everyone. I'm asking the government to kill the terrorists. I'm asking the government to finish terrorism off. Because if terrorism stays, the life of innocent will keep going. It was Shubham, next day it can be anyone else. Next day it can be anyone else. It happened 4 years back, it will start happening 2 months. It will start happening in 3 months. This should end. The terrorism should end. Point blank, kill them. Nothing else.
Exactly. We have to, finish this war against terror. Thank you so much, Aishanya ji, for speaking to us. You and your family are in our prayers, and we really hope the justice is delivered soon. Thank you so much.